Welcome back, y'all. What's happening out there in WBB land? We are back with another video, and this is a 13-part series that will chronicle every team's 2025 offseason. Each video will detail every team's current roster, their salary cap and assets, as well as look at free agent targets, needs, and an overall trajectory for the upcoming 2025 WNBA season. Without further ado, let's get it popping. With the first pick in the 2025 WNBA draft, the Dallas Wings select Paige Bueckers out of the University of Connecticut. Big news out of stores yesterday as Bueckers officially declares for the WNBA draft and puts all the baseless speculation to bed about whether or not she was going to opt out of going to Dallas. The Wings will be calling her name on April 14th, and they will have their franchise point guard for the 2025 season and beyond.
When I took the job, we talked about the momentum of the number one draft pick. We talked about the momentum of retooling the front office, both on the business side and the basketball side. We talked about the upcoming new practice facility, state-of-the-art practice facility, and then ultimately the move to downtown Dallas with the arena right over our shoulders, the renovated arena. Such great momentum in our franchise right now.
That was new Dallas GM Curt Miller speaking about the excitement surrounding the latest chapter in the Wings franchise. Miller hit the ground running after he was named the new general manager, wheeling and dealing his way to securing 4 big-name commodities this offseason in Dejanay Carrington, Ty Harris, Nalissa Smith, and Myisha Hines-Allen. What was recently assumed to be a full rebuild year with the losses of Satu Sabally and Natasha Howard has quickly transformed into a rather competitive squad that boasts a unique blend of athleticism and versatility. These 4 players added to a core of Arike Gubawale, Tierra McCowan, and Maddie Segrist, along with the drafting of Bueckers, should make Dallas a very competitive team right out of the gates. As you can see here, with the addition of Bueckers to the Wings cap sheet, Dallas will have 8 contract players, but only $300,000 to spend to round out that roster. With 3 additional picks in the 2025 draft, this video will look at the players I foresee to be in the running for those spots, as well as how Dallas can maneuver before the start of training camp in April. I compiled a group of 7 players that I think Dallas will heavily consider in those 12 and 14 draft positions. On the same day that Paige declared for the draft, however, Utah sharpshooter Gianna Nepkins hit the portal, meaning she will be officially off the board. That leaves us with 6 targets for 2 spots. I want to make it clear that I don't think the 27th overall draft pick will make the Dallas roster. That's why we're only looking at these 2 positions. Starting from the top left, we have Sedona Prince, Michaela Timpson, Isaiah James, Sanaya Rivers, Georgia Amore, and Haley Van Lith. Now, I'm actually quite uncertain at Prince's actual draft viability due to a slew of off-court incidences, but the reason I think she might have footing in Dallas is simply because she is already in the Fort Worth area playing for Texas Christian. To be clear, I don't see Prince going undrafted despite the very checkered past, but I do think no matter where she ends up, she will be on a 1 strike and you're out career. Even with all the great work Miller has done building a competitive roster, it's obvious that Dallas has to address their lack of size and front court depth. After McCowan, the Wings don't have another player over 6'2" on the roster. This is why I think ultimately Dallas does take the 6'7" Prince at that number 12 position. That gives Dallas 9 rostered players with $227,000 left to spend. As for the 14th selection, I think a very credible argument can be made for Timpson out of Florida State. If she was 6'4", I think she'd be a top 7 selection. She's long, athletic, and has a crazy high motor. At 6'2", however, I think Dallas opts for shooting, which is why I see them bringing in Georgia Amore at that 14th selection. Now, I realize with the selection of Bueckers, this might seem redundant, but like Ty Harris, I see Amore being a more effective off-ball guard at this level. Her size and defensive capabilities concern me, but as a 40+% three-point shooter, coming off screens and rubs, looking for her specialty is how I see her making it. That gives Dallas 10 rostered players, with $157,000 left to spend. Now, as I said before, they will have that 27th overall selection as well, but I do not anticipate that player making the roster. Instead, I think Dallas saves the remaining $157,000 in cap space, which ends up being just a whisker above what the team would need in order to sign 2 vet minimum contracts at just over $78,000 per deal. Now, obviously, most of free agency has taken place at this point, but with players like Aerial Powers and Kennedy Carter still yet to find homes, it wouldn't be the worst idea in the world to keep enough cash on hand to sign one of those types of players. If not, you still have enough cash on hand to sign 2 vet minimums or 2 players with 2 or fewer years of service. Fans should also keep in mind that Dallas has signed a slew of training camp contracts for players including Kyla Charles, Kiki Herbert-Harrigan, and Joyner Holmes. So regardless of what happens the rest of free agency, Dallas will have absolutely no problem filling out those remaining 2 roster spots. But now I pass the question to you. How good can this Dallas team be in 2025? Will the free agents mesh with a new coach and a new system? Can Paige Bueckers make a Caitlin Clark type impact immediately, or will she struggle? There are many questions left to be answered for this wing squad, but let me know in the comments, do you think Dallas makes the playoffs in 2025, or will they end up back in the lottery for 2026? As always, like, share, and hey, hit that subscribe button. It's free.